What is up, guys? So it's that time of year where companies all across tech start to do performance evaluations. And apparently someone who is working at Amazon has found out through the grapevine that their manager is now put on focus. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, focus is basically a category where people get put into if they are maybe not meeting the performance expectations or the performance bar, and you're supposed to improve. Otherwise, you get put into what's called PIP, Performance Improvement Plan. And so let's dive into this topic, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on it. So the title that says, manager is on focus. Through the grapevine, I learned that my own manager is on focus. He appears to have used this as an opportunity to quiet quit, which is basically just doing the minimum amount of work so he gets laid off, waiting it out until he gets put on pivot and can take the severance. Meanwhile, my own work is suffering because I essentially have no manager. I don't know what to do about it. Any ideas here? So typically the manager is the one to put their individual contributors that report to them into focus, but there are situations where maybe the manager isn't meeting expectations. Maybe something they have going on in their personal life is causing their ability to perform at work. And so the people underneath are like, hey, what's going on? And they realize that their manager is going to be on the chopping block. These situations are probably more rare, but they also seem to be happening. And right now, teams are going through what's called OLR and performance evaluations to see, okay, who should get promoted? Who do we want to keep? And then of course, who do we want to put into focus? And Amazon and a bunch of other companies are probably doing this at the same time right now at the beginning of the year, where they've collected a year of feedback from across the peers and also from the management to see, okay, we have certain quotas and we have certain headcount targets that we need to meet. Okay, how do we achieve those targets? And how much of our current team do we need to put into these categories? It's an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. And the LP here is trying to figure out, okay, what do they do? I haven't been put into this situation, unfortunately, so I'm not going to speak from experience. But if I were in your shoes, to make sure that you also don't get put onto the chopping block, is I would just continue to do your work and continue to work either with your manager or around your manager, maybe your skip level, to make sure that there's no blockers or things that will impede or prevent you from succeeding. If your manager is in the phase of quiet quitting and they are already sort of checked out, then they're probably not going to be very motivated or incentivized to even have quality one-on-ones with you. They're probably not even going to be joining meetings on a regular basis or even delivering on their key deliverables. And so you pretty much can't really depend or rely on them. You're going to have to depend on yourself, and this doesn't give you an excuse for you to also start slacking. What you need to do is basically continue to deliver on what you're doing. And then, of course, if your manager isn't providing the support, go to your skip level and say, hey, I don't think I'm getting the support that I need. Can I either work with you or maybe another adjacent manager that you trust, and see if they can also give you that support. Assuming they are willing to help you out and lend you some time, I would go ahead and just be proactive and set one-on-ones with them and just make sure that you're getting FaceTime and making sure that you're getting the support that you need and the air cover to clear any blockers or things on the roadmap that might be impeding your success. Your career is in your hands, and just because your manager isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and if they're already into focus and they're not very optimistic that they want to even stay at the company, then you need to take your career into your own hands and do what you need to do. It's an unfortunate situation, but sometimes these things happen and you can't rely on anyone else. Otherwise, your job might be in jeopardy and you might find yourself also in an unfortunate situation. Anyways, it's pretty simple here. I don't think there's really a whole lot to think about it. Also, I think this is just one of those unfortunate situations where a lot more people than usual might be put into focus because companies have certain quotas that they need to meet. And even if you're performing well or you're meeting expectations, they might be cutting the bottom, X% of people because they need to meet certain quotas. And unfortunately, this is kind of the climate that we're in. When the economy and the market goes down like this, companies are looking to trim even more. And of course, last week when Amazon announced that they're cutting, 35% of Twitch and a large number of people from Prime Video, these things tend to happen. And so you might find this to be pretty disruptive, and it is, but oftentimes companies will make these decisions even though they know it's going to hurt morale and it's also not really fair to the employees, but ultimately they're going to do what they want to do. Anyways, guys, those are kind of my thoughts on this topic. Short video, but I would just say to the OP, take your career into your own hands. Don't rely on anybody else, and reach out to your skip and reach out to other managers to get the support that you need, because you also don't want to find yourself in that situation. Anyways, guys, like this video and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.